Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM 3 o'clock news. Your presenter, Narissa Sandy, is sitting in for Jessica Klein. The news comes to you with the compliments of St. Vincent Distillers Limited. In the news, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has issued a wanted bulletin for the assistance of the public in locating the whereabouts of 41-year-old Jomo Ronaldo Thug Little, a laborer of Redemption Shops. In a press release, the Public Relations Department attached to the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force said Little has become a person of interest following a burglary. The release states that he is considered to be armed and dangerous. Little has a height of 5 feet 10 inches. He's slim and dark brown. He has oval eyes, brown thick lips, and carries a scar under his left eye. A tattoo of a lion is imprinted on the left side of his chest, and he has 4 fingers on his left hand. If seen, persons are asked to contact any police station or the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime at telephone 71211 extension 4816 or the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department at 61810. All calls, according to the police, will be treated confidentially. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Rav Gonsalves, is expected to deliver the featured address at the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force Annual Awards and Dinner, which is expected to be held later today at the Russell's Auditorium. An address will also be made by Colin John, Commissioner of Police. During today's event, police officers will be recognized with awards for their outstanding contribution to the force. The coveted awards that the officers will compete include Policeman of the Year, Policewoman of the Year, Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year, and the Commissioner's Award for Bravery, among others. Some persons from within the private sector and the public service will also be recognized. Today's event is on schedule to commence at 6:30 and will be held under the theme, Amidst the Challenges, we continue to care, serve, and protect. Still on the local scene, the duty-free concessions on Christmas barrels for 2022 have been extended to January 15, 2023. Making the announcement was Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves. Dr. Gonsalves explained via telephone to WEFM's news department that the extension is due to the late arrival of vessels to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The duty-free concessions on Christmas barrels commenced on Monday, November 14. 2022. During this period, households in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are allowed to import a maximum of 3 pieces at a reduced rate. All additional pieces will be charged at the regular fee. In the region, Barbadians are being put on notice not to expect any ease in the cost of living in the new year, despite some improvement in inflationary pressures. According to Loop News, this caution has come from regional economist Mala Dukaran, who also suggested that tourism-dependent economies should taper their optimism in light of several external factors to continue to impact the cost of living in key source markets. In addition, the regional advisor on Caribbean economies expressed concern about very little improvements in domestic conditions to drive sustainable growth and slow movement on a range of matters of importance. The Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, has projected that Caribbean and Latin American economies will slow down in 2023 and will grow by 1.3%. In its annual report, preliminary overview of the economies of Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC projects that regional growth next year will be a third of the rate forecast for 2022. The Commission said, in the context of external uncertainties and domestic restrictions, Latin America and the Caribbean countries will grow by 3.7% in 2023. That's just over half of the 6.7% rate recorded in 2021, and that should have been in 2022. It said that this prompted fewer capital flows to emerging economies, including the region. However, the document noted that the reduction in global inflation expected in 2023 with moderate monetary policy rate hikes by the leading central banks. And finally, on the international scene, we're hearing that Russia attacked Ukraine with 16 Iranian made drones overnight, with 7 of them targeted at the capital, Kiev. According to Ukrainian officials, all of the drones were destroyed. A day earlier, on Thursday, the BBC reports that a wave of Russian missiles was fired at cities across the country. Russia says it has been striking energy and military targets to weaken Ukraine's capacity to move army reserves and repair equipment. 5 of the drones were shot down in the air and 2 on approach. Reuters news agency reported hearing several blasts as well as the sound of anti-aircraft fire, but the attack seemed to be over by dawn. This brings us to the end of WEFM's 3 o'clock news. Our next newscast will come your way at 5 o'clock, at 5:30 this evening. Thanks for listening. I'm Nerissa Sandy.